What's up, party people, in the place to be? Starting off the new year with an episode I've been thinking about for quite a while, and I think it might be the start of something new. So, without further ado, today we're going to be checking out the Chad Muska Reader's Choice 1999 September Transworld magazine. It is a thick one. The Reader's Choice is pretty cool. We just got done with Skater of the Year, right? Skater of the Year through Thrasher is chosen by Thrasher. We do get to vote, but it really is up to them. Transworld, in my opinion, did something pretty cool back in the day. They used to have the readers vote on who they thought was like the most influential, best team, best video. And that's something that I miss because then like you kind of feel like you have a voice in like what might be the most like influential skateboarder for you that year. Obviously, you can tell by the Muskas on the wall. Muska was a pretty big fixture in my life. I never dressed like Muska. I just liked his vibe. I thought his energy was cool, and I was just really like down. Like Muska was sick. So without further ado, we got a special surprise at the end, but we're gonna hit up this Transworld 1999 September Muska mag. All right, we got Muska on the cover with the Ghetto Blaster. It's odd because he's like not really wearing skate shoes, which is kind of strange. But I guess that's how he wanted to do it. You would think he'd be wearing like, I don't know, like the black S's or something, right? Like the Muska shoe. Or like, this is right about when Feedback came out, the Transworld video. So maybe he'd be wearing the gray ones. Who knows? But we got Transworld Reader's Choice Street Skater of the Year. And Andy Mack, Tony Hawk, in Vegas and Miami. Right off the bat, we're starting with Orion trucks. I had a set of Orions. I don't know why I always fool myself, especially back then. I'm like such a creature of habit. I've been riding these Ventures recently, and I'm not really enjoying them. They've been great while I've been injured because they're stable, but I miss my Aces. So I'm thinking I'm going to go back to Ace. But even when I was a kid, I used to ride Indy all the time, and I switched to Orion because I guess for me, their marketing got me. You know, when you're like 13 years old, 14, you're really susceptible to those things. Not that I'm not totally susceptible to it now, but Orions were cool then. I don't remember having too much of a problem with it. It's just that like they just didn't feel really that great. This is when Brian Sumner was on Birdhouse. He's got a frontside nose grind sequence for Birdhouse. Brian Sumner was pretty cool then. Don't really know what he's doing now. I think he's like a pastor or something. We got the, it looks like Mike V doing maybe like an Indy over the Brooklyn Bank freeway barrier. But I think this is that clip. Yeah, you can see right here in this one. You can check it out. I'll give it up close. In this sequence right here, that is the top of the barrier that they had put there. So there's this knob right on the top. And you can kind of see it in that picture. It's pretty cool. He knocks the knob off. Brooklyn Banks, I never got to go skate it. Sure would be cool. 4-star. 4-star was so rad back then. You got a Mike Carroll nollie flip. Planet Earth. Never skated their boards, but I did have a pair of their swishy pants. Those are some solid swishy pants. They were like the running track kind, and they zipped off to shorts before zipping off to shorts was a nerd thing when it was cool because everyone else had them. And they cuffed at the bottom with a bungee. Chad Fernandez, he was always doing crazy big stuff back then. Don't really know where he's at now. Etnies, I really did not want to see Mike V's feet after 15 years of skating, which is really hard to say 15 years because I've been skating now for 30 plus, like somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 plus. So it's, my feet don't look like that, but Mike V's much different beast. I had these all black Etnies that he had. I really liked them, except I couldn't get a new pair of shoes until I wore them out, and those things lasted forever. I can't imagine what they would feel like to skate in now. They'd probably be really hard to skate in. Chris Denver Toy Machine. We got the contents. Somebody at the Combi Pool Vans. Pretty sick. The top rail at 3rd and Army is pretty rad. I don't know if he's the first person to 50-50 it, but pretty sick that he did something on it. We got a little Muska action celebrity photo. What a guy. He looks like he's at like some like... Oh, at first it looks like a red carpet event, but it like you could totally tell it's like a hotel pavilion. And it's like totally like, who knows, you know, conference center. But he brought the Ghetto Blaster with him. Oh, at the 1998 Readers Poll Awards. Oh, so this is something that Transworld was hosting. That's cool. That's cool. And that makes sense why he brought the Ghetto Blaster with him. We got Daywan with the nose blunt from Roof to Roof. This period of Daywan is sick. This is like right before he left World Industries. And he's about to go to Decca. And Decca, man, they had a really good video. The first Decca video opens up with that Outkast song, Bombs Over Baghdad. Sick video. Daywan has a rad part in that. We got a Destructo ad. Mike V is all over this magazine. I rode Destructos once as well. I don't really remember them, and I don't have much to say about them. I just remember I missed my indies. This no-slip axle was like a really big deal back then. They used to say that all the time. Our axles don't slip. I skated a lot of trucks. I never once had any axle slip. I used to break kingpins like crazy, but never had much trouble with axles. We got Muska with the nose slide right here. City Stars. This is City Stars after it was renamed from Menace. Cream Campbell's company. But Kane Gale was pretty sick back then. Got a little backside lip slide down that rail. Same rail that Eric Costin and Owen Wilson skated in, yeah, right?
Yeah, man, let's fucking do something on this.
Do something on this. Yeah. Like what?
Blunt side or something.
Come on, Spanky Blitz on the America video. Okay, I'll do it. Okay.
Let's see.
Carol, will you crack my back?
This guy, man, his back.
You got it. Thanks.
Let's see it.
Yeah. Naysayers.
Let's see this then.
You really want to see this?
Yeah, what do you got? Let me see it. Bullshit.
No warm up. First try, bitch.
These DCs are pretty sick. Colin McKay, one of my favorite vert riders ever. He's got a little sequence of a nollie backside flip right here. Really cool trick. No grab on the vert ramp. Sick. These DCs are really, really cool. DC was kind of on fire at this point. I think they were just, their designs were just totally rad. They weren't tipping into that like moon boot skate shoe just yet. They were still like really, really good for skating. We got an A-Team ad with your boy, Mark Johnson. It looks like he's written a letter, but he's nose sliding hubba with a nollie flip out. As someone who nose slid hubba, I can tell you a nollie flip out of a nose slide on that thing is pretty crazy. Not only because it was like really tall, but it was also really chunky. But you know, Mark Johnson could do anything. MJ's the best. There's never going to be a skateboarder better than him. All I know is that a nose slide nollie flip out on hubba is pretty rad and pretty tough. We got Maple Skateboards. It's ad right here. Funny that it's right after the Mark Johnson and A-Team ad because Mark Johnson used to ride for Maple Skateboards. Charlie Wilkins was pretty cool back then. He did a lot of like skate park footy. Maple was sick. Black Cat, the video was rad. We got Danny Wainwright here for Powell, future high ollie contest winner. It looks like he's coming out of a nose blunt on this ledge. We got a little alien ad here, some letters. Oh, this action shoe. This is pretty cool. And it's Gino's shoe. I forgot this shoe even existed, the Islander. It's pretty cool. I wonder what he's doing here. It looks like maybe, I mean, realistically, it's got to be a kickflip, right? I don't think Gino's switch frontside flipping that. And it looks like a kickflip. I don't know if it's a make though. I can't tell. I don't remember seeing him do that. We got a Castell ad. I loved Castells. I never owned a pair, but I thought they were really cool looking. Actually, no, that's wrong. I did own a pair of Castells. They're brown and black, but I can't remember what they looked like. I've gone on the internet a few times and tried to search to find a picture of it. Never been able to find one. Extraordinary skateboards don't wear ordinary shoes. Yeah, Castell was trying to do something different. I mean, this shoe is reminiscent of like a lot of the things that DVS and other shoe companies were doing at the time. But the thing is, like, I don't know why they're trying to say they're any different from like this. You know, if you look at this shoe, it's you know, it's not a far cry off of the Muska. And why they chose to split it over two, I don't know. It's a strange choice. Some crappy ramps. We got Speed Demons ad. I don't even know if Speed Demons exists anymore. But we got Josh Casper here. Looks like he's doing a kickflip. Really terrible kickflip. Better than I can kickflip. But Speed Demons used to be a bearing company. I'm not sure if they exist anymore. And I never owned a pair. We got a Black Magic ad. Shorty's grip tape. Tyrone Olsen without the kicker. He used to skate stuff with the kicker all the time. We got an Element ad. You know, all the major players of Element in that day. A lot of great skaters on Element at that time. We got a Pig Wheels ad with another Maple rider, Chad Knight. Kickflip 5-0 to fakie. Here's a great Shorties ad. Shorties, you know, are pretty crazy. Like, you look at some of the stuff that people were doing for like photos and ads. Shorties would just like put it all on there. We don't even care. Because they just put these sequences in here. You know, you have Jesse Sylvie, Brandon Turner, Tone Nguyen, and Sammy Baptista. And then you each have a sequence. Like, they each have their own sequence in this. We got a switch heel from, it looks like Sammy Baptista. It looks like a backside, like, well, they list it as a frontside crooked grind transfer. But now I guess you would call this a backside over crook. Or if like you're a real big stickler, you just say it's a backside nose grind 180. Then you got Brandon Turner with the classic. It looks like he's got a switch hard flip going here, which we know Brandon Turner's got a mean switch hard flip. He did it down Wallenberg at like, what, I think he was like 41. So for me, it's pretty inspiring to be that age, and switch hard flip Wallenberg is crazy. And you got Jesse Sylvie with a nose blunt. It looks like, oh, not a nose blunt. Looks like a switch blunt slide. Pretty sick. Look at all their old shoes. He's got the S Costin 2s in gray. Tone's wearing some Osiris, it looks like. And Brandon is also wearing some S back there. They're probably all getting hooked up from Muska at the time. We got the Omar Hassan Vans. Vans was in a weird place at this time. I don't know. I guess it felt like they weren't keeping up with what was going on. But they had some pretty cool designs. Like, looking back on it, I think they did some good stuff. Especially because they didn't do some of the giant moon boots that were going on, or at least starting out at this time. And one of the Vans that sticks out to me is the Steve Caballero. I think it's the third street cab. That shoe is cool. The Willie Santos shoe is really good. Oh man, we got one of the greatest of all time right here. Cream Campbell with a kickflip off the gap, down the stairs for reflex bearings. Never had them. Don't even remember them. Chocolate Tour, one of the best videos ever. Look at that ad. Daniel Castillo. I am big fan of chocolate, big fan of Grail Tap, and that's a pretty sick ad. That's in the video. He's like doing some sort of like virtual reality thing to like scam the police or whatever. We got Dustin Dolan. Oh, Dustin, where have you gone? What have you become? Dustin Dolan always had a really mean kickflip. Baker 2G, he has a kickflip crooks at the end of his video part, skating to the Pixies. And Dustin, you know, like became really famous for his slams and his like drinking, but his skating was really good. Dustin was pretty sick. I like Dustin. We got Eric Ellington with a frontside nose slide at, I think this is USC, maybe? I forget the name of the school, but these rails have been skated to death. Jamie Foy just heel flip back tailed this, but Eric Ellington makes everything look good. If you ever watch the hijinks videos from Beagle that he puts out like once every couple weeks, Eric Ellington had a kickflip nose slide to fakie nollie 360 flip in that, and it looks just like throwaway crap that Eric wasn't interested in, and it just looks good. He's wearing blue Actions with the gray shoe. I always liked that Eric had really cool style. He just looked good on a skateboard. He chose like cool clothes to wear. We got Ronnie here with a Drawers ad. Crazy. Look at that team. Brian Anderson, Rick McCrank, Kane Gale, Channing Genjoin, and Cairo Foster on Drawers. That's pretty sick. Drawers was DC. Funny enough, that's what DC stands for, Drawers Clothing. All right, we got some music here. We'll skip that. We got Sprite. I don't even think Sprite exists anymore. Can you get Sprite? This looks like an America ad. It's green. We got looks like a drop-in Smith grind, which back then at 14 I would have thought was so whack, but now as an adult I think it's pretty damn sick. That looks like Reynolds here doing a kickflip, board slide on like that rail that had like a gap in front of it. And then we got a really big kickflip from Donnie Barley. Cool stuff, Emerica. I wish Emerica would release some cool shoes. We got another. Mike Valley was on fire right now. Jeez, he's everywhere. Speed Demons, Bearings. Crazy. He's everywhere in this mag. Steve Barra. Skip that. We got a Kevin Taylor crooked grind down that same rail that Jamie Thomas skates in Misled Youth. It's a pretty big rail. I think Jamie does I want to say a Smith grind, but I don't really remember without seeing a better picture of it. Pat Chanita, still sick, still riding for Bones. Really rad. Dark Star when they were a wheel company. Here's Muska with the famous Muska board. If you follow Chad Muska on Instagram, you'll see that he's like posting like some of the boards signed and things like that. It's pretty cool he's kept up with it. But Black Panther was a bearing company. Not too sure if they exist anymore. We got DVS. Here's what I'm talking about. So look at these shoes. All these layers. Leather, leather, leather. You know, these DVSs are pretty sick, actually. The sole is cool. I think one of the things I miss about skate shoes from back then is the sole. Like, just that it's not all just like a straight sole. It feels like it has like cool folding points and it looks interesting. It's more techie, obviously, but it just is cool. I like it. I like those older soles on the shoes. I think they're more exciting. I think they're more fun. We got James Craig 360 flip. James Craig, I'm pretty sure is like the team manager or something out there now, but he was so cool. He really had a good switch hard flip and his skating was rad. I liked watching James skate a lot. We got a Sessions ad. Pat Smith with a 5.0. Hesh back then. We got an audio ad. Here's another one of those shoes. This is a Brian Sumner front net side nose grind down the Wilshire 16. That's really big. Wow. I guess 15 stair nose grind. These audios are pretty cool. I do not like this part, how it separates here. At this point, tuck the rubber behind the suede, pull this back. Too much rubber on that, says the guy with Muskas in the background. We got the photo annual. Oh, look at this, a pull-out poster. Let's see what it is. We got Globe ad on one side. Oh, look at this. Rodney with the Rodney Globe. Oh, no, this is the Chet Thomas Globe. Oh, I'm totally wrong. I guess looking at it sideways, it looks like Rodney. It's actually Chet Thomas. That's pretty cool. Chet Thomas had a really mean hard flip, as you can tell in this pull-out ad. Look at that shoe. I mean, gee whiz, look at that thing. Globe just released this again with like a crazy different sole that I don't think is for skating. But Chet Thomas had a really mean hard flip. He used to do hard flip nose grinds all the time. That's all I remember him doing, plus like a really big frontside flip at one point. I never skated these. Globe was never really on my radar. I was never super into them. Oh, here's another one we could do a pull-out poster. This one isn't as exciting. It's harder to do. There we go. Yeah, Globe. Pretty cool they did a pull-out poster. At this age, 1999, I was putting like all this stuff on my walls. It's a miracle that this magazine survived. We've got a Billabong ad with Paulo Diaz. If you don't know, Paulo Diaz, he was really big, like in the early 90s, late 80s. He was on Chocolate. But one of the things I remember is I saw him nollie over a bike rack. And I always thought that was like so crazy that he could nollie over a bike rack. Switch 180, a big Switch 180. This is kind of, I guess this is a photo. It's just of a frontside nose slide. But we got Sean Sheffy with a Switch 180 for Maddox. Tim Broch, that looks like for sunglasses, Dragon Optical. Tim Broch was a San Jose guy, and it was really sad when he passed. Cool dude. Talked to him a handful of times at skate shops and stuff, but that's too bad. He was a good skater, and he seemed like a good guy. Don't know this guy. Osiris the Storm, major video production, catastrophic proportions under serious construction. We're gonna have to review that video at some point because the Storm is an incredible skate video, and I say that in a lot of respect for what it did at the time. The D3s, people still talk about them. I saw it on like Jenkum just did a whole video on them, and so did Vice. So it's crazy. Osiris, they created a shoe that's incredible. Oh, here it is. Speak of the devil. Dave Mayhew with a frontside tail slide. It looks like a 270 kickflip without, yeah, it looks like a 270 kickflip. Oh, it says tail slide, kickflip. Oh, he kicked it the other way. That's why. For a second, it looked like it was going behind him, but he's actually kicking it forward. That's pretty cool. So I bought these when I was, before this. I was probably like a sophomore. Before like everyone had them, I saw them at a skate shop and I bought them and I took them home and they were horrible. I couldn't skate at all. They like wouldn't bend. I couldn't feel the skateboard even a little bit, even more so than the Muskas. The Muskas have like okay board feel, not that great, but like you kind of are okay with it because it's the Muska. But this shoe was like, it was like non-existent. Like you were not going to feel a single thing. So I returned them that same day. I just took them back. And I think in its place, I picked up the Rob Dyrdek 3, the DCs, and I still have really fond memories of that shoe. But yeah, and then all of a sudden everybody had them. But of course, everybody who had them didn't skate. Rarely did you see someone who actually skated wearing those. It was normally like mall kids and stuff like that. But that shoe was everywhere. Reef shoes, I mean, we're just going to skip over that. Diego Buccieri is sick. The Butcher's rad, but we're going to skip reef shoes. We got some stuff here. Kalis setups, what the pros ride and why. Oh, this should be interesting. Here's what Josh had to say. I ride an Alien Workshop Josh Kalis Pro Model deck. The wheelbase is 14 inches and the length is 31 1/8. The width is 7 9/16. The size of the tail is 6 3/8 and the nose is 6 3/4. As far as the tail and nose go, I like them in between, not too steep but not flat. The same thing for the concave. It's not mellow, but it's not steep. I like it in between. I ride either 50 or 50.5 millimeter wheels, always white. I usually put on new wheels every time I do a new setup. Sometimes I like older wheels, but normally I set up new wheels. Honestly, it's kind of cool that he knew all that stuff. It'd be interesting to see like if we do this in the future with more mags, if like other skateboarders were really tuned into the wheelbase. It's cool to see that on here, but I wonder if that is inserted by the editor. If Josh was like, oh, this is what I ride, and they were like, oh, let's put in all the details or if Josh actually did this. One way we could probably figure this out is by checking other mags and seeing if Transworld had like other pro skaters set up in it. Really not a bad setup. It's just a little bit small. That's all. But that's what everybody was doing then. And Orion trucks. I'm sure he's not riding Orion anymore since they don't exist. Got Milk, Tony. He's got to get that money. You got to love him. This is a strange ad. Win the Milk mustache. Oh, cool. So this is when you had to actually send away for things. Funny enough, I sent away for a Chippendale Rescue Rangers yo-yo from Cereal Box Tops. I don't think it ever came. We got DC Shoe Co. USA ad. Apparel. Mini disc player. I had one of these. I think I had one that looked just like this too. I love that mini disc player. As someone who's always listened to music when they skate, because I primarily skate alone, that mini disc player was cool because I had gone down from a CD player to that. It was just, unfortunately, buying mini discs was short-lived. Combi Pool, Vans, Andy Mack. Oh, we got a little Timex ad. A Hummer. There was a lot of strange things happening at this time. That's one of them. This Adidas ad. Look at this. Lance Mountain. Oh, and his son. That's pretty cool. That's a cool ad, Lance. Lance is rad. Still out there. We got Jinko ad. Before skating was like everything in my life, I wore Jinkos, and they were big. They were big pants. I had given them up by this time. You can see this. Al Partnan. Looks like he's riding a Shorty's deck, which is pretty cool. That's cool. We got a video game ad, The Evil Zone. Kind of a suggested ad, wouldn't you think? A little bit suggestive. Look at this. We got Andrew Reynolds wearing the Ed Templeton 1's Navy. This is probably, when they said they were going to reissue the America Ed Templeton 2, I was super disappointed. I think number 1 was way more iconic. Showed up in way more of his Art Osari, Andrew Reynolds, of course, Ed. Those guys used to wear those things all the time. That shoe is sick. Yeah, you can see there's the America ad right here. This is just a Transworld, like, subscribe little leaflet here. They give you a free tool. You can get that tool on Amazon now if you want it. It's like $2 or $3. We got a Scott Pazelt, Osiris. Oh, look at that. Bob Burnquist with his Bob Burnquist S shoe. As an S fan, it's always great to see the S stuff represented in these old mags. We got a starting point with Ed Templeton. He's going to try to teach you how to backside nose blunt a rail. It's not really that difficult of a trick, but it looks like it would be a lot harder on a square rail, so that's crazy. The Burnquist Pro model, I never had a pair, but I know it looks like that because he wrote a lot of vert, and that thing was intense. Here's a backside tail slide how-to. These little how-to things like never helped me out as a kid. Reese Forbes is sick though. Fury trucks. You got another Muska cameo here. Oh, Andrew Reynolds with another one. He's a Nolly 50/50, and now he's wearing the Reynolds 1 in brown. Pretty sick. Chips Ahoy. Big spin trick tip. Looks like it's Jeff Rowley. Pretty sick. Jeff is rad. Funny enough, I had this as well. This little CD player. I had like a purple and silver one. It was a great CD player, but I just totally destroyed it and then ended up getting the mini disc after that. Man, there's a lot of trick tips here. Nollie back tail by the whole crew. Now we're looking at Brian Sumner. CCS, pretty sick. CCS is still around. Funny enough, CCS. Look at this. They just sent me this. They've been gone forever, and all of a sudden this showed up. Pretty cool. Speaking of CCS. Converse, we got these shoes. They're something. I mean, this giant rubber piece in the back, giant rubber piece on the front. I don't know. Skate shoes, sometimes are really cool, and sometimes are just terrible. Now, these are wild as well. Smash Mouth. Smash Mouth was crazy back then. This is pre-Shrek Smash Mouth. Swash Mouth? Yeah, these Converses are cool. Pretty intense stuff. Converse keeps it pretty low key now. We got some Skechers. We're skipping that. Oh, here's the Willie Santos that I was talking about. This Vans shoe was really cool. Particularly this color is really cool. Brown with the black. G-Shock watch. Everyone was on the G-Shock then. I still have a couple G-Shocks. I love wearing them. My last G-Shock, though, my dog chewed up. Tracker trucks, huge in the 80s, huge in the late 90s, or early 90s. Not really around too much anymore. Neighborhood Video would have been sick. I don't think it ever came out, but that lineup is pretty rad. Yeah, Tracker, I was never into them. Oh, Consolidated, they just recently hung it up, so it's too bad. Now we're here at the meat and potatoes. We got the 1998 Readers Poll Awards. Peter Smolik, Best Style. That kind of makes sense. Fulfill the Dream had just come out, and Osiris the Storm was about to come out. Smolik was kind of untouchable at that point. Him and Muska were just like beating you over the head. They were just there. Smolik really had, in my opinion, I think it was like a divisive style. I don't think there was like people who really liked him and then people who like couldn't stand him. I was in the camp of really liked him. He had a really cool switch frontside flip and Fulfill a Dream. I don't know what he's doing now. Last I heard he was doing RC cars. We got a switch hard flip. Really big one. I mean, look at that. And then we have his like tail slide 270 heel. When this came out, I don't think I even really comprehended how intense it was. It was just too much for me to understand what was happening. Now everyone's doing tail slide 270s. Andy Mack, best overall with the yellow helmet. Andy was pretty sick. You can't really say bad things about him. He's always been pretty true to himself. And we got Chad Muska for best street. That makes sense. I don't think he was the best street skater at the time. At the time, I would have said Reynolds. But Muska was different. He had the industry on like by the neck. It just, you couldn't touch him at the time. We got a 360 flip over the roof gap. We got a K-grind down this ledge. Cool little interview, too. Big lip slide. Oh, no, this is a nose blunt. Oh, cool. Big nose blunt wearing the gray ones. Right there. Boom. Wearing the gray Muskas. Feedback. Transworld. Watch it. 50-50 drop off. Rad. 180 nose grind. All this stuff was in feedback. If you want to see it in video, that's what you go look for. Transworld feedback, 1999. They were probably filming for this. We got a 5.0. It looks like the same day as a nose blunt slide. A pop shove it. 50-50 maybe nose grind. I've never really been able to really tell. Looks like they say it's a nose grind, so we'll just trust them on that. Really big hard flip here. Really big hurricane there. Yeah, that's Chad Muska. Oh, and look at, here's the pull-out ad. This is pretty rad. This picture is pretty sick. I'd still put this up. He's doing a backside 180. You can see him like tucking his legs right there. Let's see the opposite side. Oh, that's pretty cool. Tony Hawk. That's a cool photo. Look at all these suits. I wonder what he's doing this for. Tony's become recognizable in skateboarding. He hired a platoon of bodyguards. They're not bodyguards. It's just for the ad. I'm sure they just took a picture for the ad. Had a bunch of people show up. Maybe they're people who worked in an office nearby or something. Funny, I'm the same age as most of these people now. I mean, what can you say about Tony Hawk that hasn't been said? Tony's rad. He's wearing Hawk shoes. Wishing he was wearing Audios. Readers Poll 98. This is kind of like, think the other one from like last year. Yeah, it must be the year prior. We got Best Street, Eric Costin. That's a no-brainer. Actually, you know what? I take it back. Reynolds wasn't the best street skater when Chad Muska got this. It was and still is Eric Costin at this time. Costin was just unbelievable. Alyssa's pretty rad. Love Alyssa. We got some John Humphreys photos. Pretty great photographer. Really iconic spots. Got a big, what looks like a big fakie flip. Yeah, fakie kick flip. Jamal Williams. Jamal's so sick. We got this guy. Look at Josh Falk, and he's wearing the DC Clocker 2s. It looks like the brown ones. Pretty sick. We got a kickflip nose blunt from Matt Beach. You don't see Matt Beach much anymore. Pretty sick. We got Brad Staba skate mental with a frontside flip and on Market Street in San Francisco. It's pretty big. Oh, you know Mark Gonzalez. He's the Gons. He's rad. Actually, I didn't even know when I lived in San Francisco. When I lived in San Francisco, this was right down the street from me, and I used to think, I wonder if anyone's ollied this. And little did I know, I'd seen it done like 20 years prior. We got Lance, of course. Lance is great. Adidas. This seems like it might be an Adidas thing. It must be an Adidas trip. Yeah, because here's more Adidas. Matt Beach, Matt Rodriguez. He rode those square noses. Pretty sick. Brad Staba, frontside crooked grind. Yeah, this photo is cool. I like this photo. And the Tenderloin. Not the place you want to be. If you find yourself there, you might want to find your way out of there. We got a little Miami feature. It looks like the girl guys. We got Tony, Colin, Tim. You know, all the major players. Mike's there, Chico. Nose blunt, Scott Johnston. That's a sick photo, especially with Ty Evans in the background on the fisheye. Sean Sheffy, Mike Carroll. Oh, here's Rick. Look at this. Backside tail slide, but it's like ollie over to back tail. Really cool. Big crooked grind, Mike York. And Mike Carroll, of course. Then here's Eric. I mean, Eric is like Eric Costin, like you recognize him from anywhere. Like his skating, you could just see it. He's just killing it. Eric has and still has great style, but this nollie nose slide is always one of my favorites. He always wore a lot of yellow. As a yellow fan, it's cool. I guess we should look at this kickflip. This thing is crazy. The kickflip from here to here. Who is that? Oh, Joel Meanholz. Meanholz? Still rips. He was so good. Does not get the praise he should. Anytime he had any clips or photos, they were crazy. And anything I see of him now, he's still ripping. It was all good until Vegas. Oh, we got Ardo here. And look at that. Like I said, Templeton ones in black. Gap to nose slide or front board. That was in the Menik Mahdi by S. We got some Rowley stuff. Smith grind. Neil Mims. Here's Muska again with a kickflip nose slide to fakie. That's cool. We got another nose slide kickflip out. Ardo was so good then. I loved seeing Ardo skate. He was great. Oh, we got a backside nose blunt slide with Jason Dill. Backside 360, Jim Greco. Jim's backside 360 is still, I want to say it's the best backside 360 hands down. I don't think anyone does it better. He just looks so cool doing a backside 360, and he does them so good and so big. Dill, everyone knows where he went. Back tail, Willie. Man, Willie's all over this. There he is with the back tail. I guess all those dudes were probably hanging out together. Again, with the Willie Santos Vans. Those were sick shoes. Gap to back lip. I forget what this guy's name is. Oh, Neil Mims. He was killing it. I don't really know the full story, but what I could gather at this time was he had a huge slam that's in feedback. I think the video, if it's not in feedback, it's in another Transworld video. But he slams and hits his head. And the stories I always have heard is that he was kind of like over it at that point. But there was a point where he was doing like crazy stuff. And this gap to back lip back, even for back then, was huge. We got Jeff with the frontside 50-50. Muska frontside tail slid that earlier in the mag. We got a kick. Oh, it looks like we just got a nose blunt. It looks like it's Willie with a nose blunt, big spin out. It's funny. He did a really good nose blunt, big spin out, and so did Andrew Reynolds. Andrew Reynolds had a really good nose blunt, backside, big spin out. We got a nose blunt slide, Jeff Rowley. Yeah, now we got a little 10-year bash for Rampage Skate Park. It'd be interesting to know if Rampage Skate Park was still around. Oh, look at this. Classic. Bike rack off the loading dock. Crooked grind. I mean, desperate for some rails if you're doing that. Speaking of that, we did that a couple times. Board slide, you know, a couple crooked grinds. But when you're chaining genuine, it just looks better. You don't look as desperate. This backside flip is still really, really good. Andrew Reynolds, backside flip. This was in his feedback part. And he's wearing the white Reynolds ones with the gum sole. So sick. Surprised we haven't seen this here. Runner up for best street, Guy Mariano. Makes sense. Guy's always been the best. Best video, Birdhouse to End. Interesting. That's kind of crazy because I thought the Birdhouse video had come out like way sooner than this. That's Steve Olson. Wild guy. We got Girl, Colin McKay. He rode for Girl for a long time. Then went to Plan B. We all know what Plan B is like now. Let's see. We got a nose grind. Or it looks like maybe it says fakie pivot, grind, fakie flip back into the ramp. Yeah, I guess it looks like he pops off fakie there. So it's fakie 5-0, fakie flip. And Jamie Thomas. I mean, you can't look at 1998, 1999 and not highlight Jamie Thomas. Misled Youth probably was about to come out. He was another one that was intense. Jeff Lenosi with the great Spitfire shirt. Long 50-50. Oh, I always thought this was crazy. It's Neil Mims. This blunt slide is still looks crazy. It almost looks like he's like falling out of it right there. But he's not. Neil Mims is sick. Oh, here we were just talking about this in memory of Tim Broch. Yeah, we'll just loosely go over this. Tim was sick. Did a lot of good skiing. He has another foot. This mag is filled with feet. We got Jason Dill for Vita. I'd rather see the shoe. I don't need to see his foot. Here's a Shorty's ad. This shit's got pop. Oh, NC, my home shop. NC was one of the first places I ever got skateboards or shoes from. Loved NC. Gershon was a San Jose legend at the time. I don't know where he's at now. Yeah. NC was cool. Good board shop. Still open. You should go to it if you're in the area. Los Gatos, California, I think it's off of Blossom Hill. Sick shop. Warp Tour 99. I actually ended up working the Warp Tour, I think the year after this. That was a cool tour to work. But I just worked at one of the locations, not the actual tour. Donnie Barley with a frontside ollie wearing that Destructo shirt that we've seen a million times now. We got a little fingerboard stuff. It's pretty cool. Here's Andy Mack's continued interview. Wholesale collection from Eastern Skateboard Supply. I'm not sure if Eastern Skateboard Supply is around anymore. Look at this guy, Brad Stava. Looks like someone you would see on like the WB. Like he'd be on like Gilmore Girls or something as like the extra student. That's who I imagine he would be. Like something like that. Yeah, at the end of Transworld, it kind of becomes a lot of ads. It doesn't really get that great, but this is what they used to do. They used to put all the skate shops in here. That was pretty cool back then. I guess if we look at California, we might be able to see whether or not my skate shop's in it. California, it would be San Jose. Let's go. Riverside, San Francisco, San Jose. Oh, yeah, there it is. Go Skate. Go Skate. That was my skate shop. I miss Go Skate. It was cool. I wish it had survived. Let's see, we got a Renaissance ad. This guy actually looks like he's wearing the Mark Johnson ones. That's cool. Willie Bean. I wonder what happened to Willie Bean. When you get to the end of these mags, there's a lot of like skaters that you go, I wonder what happened to that guy. In reality, they just went and got jobs and had families and just lived a normal life. Transworld Surf. Here's that Vans ad with another shoe. Whose shoe is this? Ethan Fowler, Jason Adams, the Pro Series shoe. Oh, I was like, what is this Vans ad with this crazy picture here? It's really not the same thing at all. But this Vans shoe is crazy. This is an intense shoe. We got Jason Maxwell with a tail slide for DNA skateboards. It's pretty cool. Oh, Circa. This is like the clip of him leaving. No more S. He's done with it. Now he's doing Circa. What could have been with S would have been pretty sick to see what his second shoe would look like. What's under Peter Smolik's hood? I don't know, but I had a lot of those knitted beanies. Let's see here. Moving on. Joey Comstock. I think I only know him because of this video. Or not video, because of this sequence. Backside 180 flip. Backside flip. Kenny Anderson. Pat Smith, another guy. I think I only know him because of this. Here's Tone Nguyen. Man, the shorties guys are all over this. Anthony Carney. Backside nose blunt, pretty sick. Transfer. I wonder why it was a transfer. Eric Costin's last words. Last video you rented, Soul in the Hole, a basketball documentary. I don't know if he's... It says the last time you played golf, the 4th grade. I'm pretty sure that's changed a lot now. Nixon watches. They were a really big watch company then for skateboarders, surfers, and snowboarders, extreme sports guys. This is crazy. Fakie Ollie, this gap is gnarly. The Carlsbad gap was big. A Fakie Ollie was huge. Chris Lambert also Fakie Ollie like a 17 stair in like some video. I don't remember what it is. Same rail that Ardo skated. Must have been a famous rail. Gap to Crooked Grind. We're in the Duffs. Pretty sick. And we're ending it with Ronnie Krieger. Pretty rad. Bad Boys series out now. Cool. All right, guys. Well, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Oh, I forgot one last thing. To commemorate the Chad Muska Breeders' Poll 1999 Transworld video, we got the navy and white sole Muska. This was the shoe I never had. Navy and white sole shoes are my absolute favorite looking shoe. I mean, what can you say about the Muska that hasn't been said? I did a whole video on the shoe. And this was the colorway I wanted most. I haven't worn them because I wanted to make a video about it. I didn't want them to be all dirty. So now I can wear them. The shoe is just so rad. Navy and white is easily my favorite colorway for any shoe. I wish there was more navy and white shoes out there. The Excel OG and navy and white would be so, so cool. Anyways, Muska, navy and white. Funny enough, I got it from the CCS. Showed up. I don't know when they're out because I haven't seen any videos about it. But it's a great looking shoe. You got the S ad, or the S logo on the bottom, the heel. They look good. They feel good. Yeah, they look good. They feel good. Just an overall, I mean, you know what the Muska looks like. I did a video on them. I did the frontside flip in them. It's a good looking shoe. Navy and white. I wish more skate shoes were navy and white. It's just a classic color that goes with almost everything you could wear. It looks good on video. And you just don't see a navy and white that much. So Muska's navy and white, super cool. I don't know when they're out, but CCS had them early maybe, so I picked them up. That's it, everybody. We'll do this again soon. I love reading through these old mags, and I got plenty to go. Just thought I'd kick it off with the Chad Muska one since he was so big at my time in skating. Don't know him personally, but he seems like a cool guy. I like his stuff. Anyways, if you're out there, drink some water, hug your family, tell them you love them, give your pets a scratch. Until next time.